Right, okay. Now, last week, the committee of the Mayflower Community Centre in Drumshanbo and County Leitrim announced that the Misher Era Festival would not take place there as planned on the 23rd of August. There had been a major row over the decision of the committee to host the festival in the first place. A number of groups disputed the case that the festival was a celebration of Irish culture, of music and heritage, and was in fact a gathering of far-right activists. Indeed, a number of local residents and indeed musicians from around the country signed a petition requesting the committee not to allow the festival go ahead. Well, it's not now going ahead in Drumshanbo, but it will take place in another venue. And to react to what has happened and to all the controversy over the event, we're joined now by two of the festival organisers, Stephen Kerr and Suzanne Delaney. And I'll start with you, Stephen Kerr. And to start, I know you want to take issue, first of all, with an interview that we broadcast with one of those who had criticised the staging of the festival in Drumshanbo, Meryl McGowan, which you felt was unfair to you and your group.
Well, we were shocked when we heard the interview, to be honest, with some of the dangerously defamatory accusations that were made against some of the organisers, including myself. Things like that we were involved with arson, we were involved with loyalists up the north, that we were part of the far right, that we were dangerous people, that were looking to cause harm to immigrants, all of which is absolutely completely false, and we dispute. And we were a little bit upset at the time in the way that the interview was conducted as well. We felt that there should have been a little bit more of a pushback there to some of these unfounded allegations that Mr McGowan made on live radio.
All right, okay, but you're getting the right reply now, so you can rebut, if you wish, what Meryl McGowan said, which you've just done.
Absolutely. There's no evidence to back up anything.
The story has moved on, as we know, quite markedly, particularly in the past week. And the festival, which was organised for the Mayflower Community Centre, has now been cancelled as a result of the decision by the Mayflower Committee. What's your response to that?
We're dismayed, really. It was a possibility we saw because of this campaign of hate that was built against us by a very small group of what I would call left-wing political extremists. And they put pressure on the committee in various ways and means, using, as I said, a live radio interview, newspaper articles, which we weren't asked for comment on, and even in Drumshanbo. And I think actually harassing some of the board members of the Mayflower venue itself. They put a lot of pressure on the board, and they caved to that pressure. And this is a technique that some of these radical extremists, these leftist extremists, use. We've seen it all over the country over the last couple of years. They have managed, even though they're a very small group, they're very loud, and they seem to be very connected, politically connected, and they have this ability to shut down free speech events, or music and cultural events in this case.
And that's how you see it, free speech. That's what you espouse, free speech, you're saying.
Yeah, free speech is a very important part of any society. And they're talking about us being dangerous people. First of all, those accusations and allegations that have been made are entirely untrue. And we have reported those to the Gardaí because some of them could be incitement to violence against us. We feel like our safety has been compromised, and that of our families, as a result of these allegations. There's been some horrific depictions of us posted online in the past few days, some that are very reminiscent of 19th century British anti-Irish propaganda. Myself and Stephen have been depicted as Nazis, doing a Nazi salute with Mein Kampf on our person, and swastikas. Some of these things that are happening are criminal in nature. And a file has already been sent to the DPP about the same people in relation to other events that have been closed down using what is blatant blackmail to convince venue owners to cancel events.
Okay, to quote the Mayflower Committee, they say the cancellation was due to the terms and conditions not being met by you, the organisers.
That is what they say. Now,
what does that mean in your eyes?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what it means. Now, bear in mind, I put this contract together. The Mayflower didn't want a contract of me. I insisted on the contract. I drew up the contract. And the clause that they're looking at is one where I said that I would provide them with our insurance policy number by the 1st of August. Now, the reason they didn't get that sent to them, and everything was pointing towards this event going ahead. Like, you can see the email train between me and the insurance company. We had the insurance. We just hadn't actually paid. The reason we hadn't paid is because a couple of days out from the 1st of August, prior to the 1st of August, we heard rumours that there was going to be a meeting held over the weekend by the board, and that they were going to discuss pulling this event. So it wouldn't make sense for me to pay our insurance, which was going to be about €1,000 on the Friday, and only to hear on the Sunday that it was going to be cancelled. But if you look through the email exchange with the insurance company, we had it there. We just had to make the payment. We had a deposit paid to the venue. We had been to the district court in Carrick-on-Shannon and had obtained a occasional liquor licence for the day. We had numerous promotions of the event out there. So everything was we had honoured the spirit of the contract. There's no doubt about that.
So you don't accept that as the reason why? Well, we know the reason why it was cancelled. I'm sure you know the reason why it was cancelled, because of what you apparently represent. You're, according to some people, right-wing, extremist in nature, radical, fascist. How do you respond to that?
Oh,
is that the case?
It's absolutely crazy. And what I say to any of these people that say that, I say, show me any evidence. I mean, I'm sure, Niall, you've looked over some of our platforms. We have over 220,000 followers on our platform. We have no criminal convictions. We have no pending charges. We have no defamation suits. We've been doing this for quite a while. I ran in the local and general elections.
Yeah. I'll come to that in a moment. So what are you? Before I ask about the festival, what is Misher all about? And what do you represent? What are your...
Misher is just...
What are your policies, or if you have policies?
We have no policies. Misher is just a celebration of Irish music and culture, basically. We have a lot of different Irish musicians playing on the day, poets, storytellers, workshops in the Irish language as well, all this sort of thing. And I don't think it's the most radical thing in the world when you see that all around the country you have Ukrainian festivals, African festivals, Indian festivals. Is it so bad to have an Irish festival?
Yeah, there's like we have a lady who is an expert on the Drumcliff monastic site, which is the final resting place of Nobel Prize winning poet W.B. Yeats. We have a lady who is, she spins wool and she tells stories about the, and she talks about the wool industry in Ireland. We have 2 Irish classes on the day, one for fluent speakers, one for beginners. This is a non-political event. So
where are people getting the idea? If that's what you're doing, where are people getting the idea then that this is a far-right organised event and you'll be pushing all sorts of ideology and so forth?
Well, first of all, it's not people in general at all. It's a small group of people. We've been painted as, the Irish Inquiry has been painted as fringe. We're not fringe. We have 220,000 followers. The people who have spearheaded this campaign are fringe. They have very few followers. They do seem to be well connected to NGOs, and some county councillors have rode in behind them as well. But I would be saying any support that they've drummed up has been under entirely false pretenses. To stand on the streets of Drumshanbo and put my name and Stephen's name on a leaflet that's linked to a Google document, a lengthy one, that calls us all the names under the sun. I mean, the word fascist, for example, fascists oppose anybody who disagrees with them. We don't oppose anybody who disagrees with us, they're
the fascists.
Like they champion kneecap as well.
Yeah, well, I come to kneecap now. But do you promote hatred and division in society, particularly on the immigration issue?
No,
or not?
Have you looked at any of our content?
I have, yeah.
Have you found anything to suggest that?
There would be a few things that people might find objectionable, but I mean, there's a lot of comments that people will put on social media that are objectionable. But just about the content that we create, the videos that we create and produce ourselves. But you did, because of the way this story went on, you created division and disharmony in the community. Is that regrettable now, do you think?
No, how did we do that?
Sorry, no,
I'm not saying you. Well, the very fact that the festival was organised caused a lot of division within the local.
There was no problem whatsoever. Okay, bear in mind, right? There were 2 meetings with the council. There were no objections to our proposal. Okay, everything was going ahead. We had huge support from local people in Drumshanbo. The issue only came
Did
when
you have huge report?
lots of people have been in touch with us privately since the event isn't cancelled.
There was a petition organised of local people.
Yeah.
It started off with local people objecting to.
It took place during the Joe Mooney summer school week. And I actually have messages from someone saying that they were getting young kids to sign it when they went by. Now, Niall, bear in mind, with the stuff that they're willing to put online publicly about us, can you imagine what they might be saying privately to people? So how easy would it be to get?
It wasn't an accurate portrayal, you think, of
absolutely
of
not.
views.
And on such a busy day, being out there for 10 hours, and they could only manage to get 200 and whatever odd signatures. Yeah. I mean, it's pathetic, really.
Okay, but what about the high-profile artists like Christy Moore and Kneecap, as you mentioned a moment ago, Brian Kennedy, Francis Black? These artists didn't want you going out with your festival in Drumshanbo.
No, what they didn't want was, the people we've been portrayed to be, which is inaccurate. And if what they signed is based off this purported open letter, well, it doesn't make sense to me, because the letter was very vague, it was very brief. It's not consistent with the behaviour that preceded that letter and all the things that were said about us. So it's our belief that a different letter was actually sent to these people, and portraying us as Nazis, fascists, people who want to incite violence against migrants, which is not the case at all. And I believe that they were, they signed this under false pretenses. They haven't done their due diligence.
And we would like to see a copy of that letter. We would like some of these artists to release a copy of the letter that they were initially asked to sign. We haven't seen that yet.
You said earlier, Stephen, that some of the left-leaning groups are radical and extreme in their nature. Is that not what you are as well?
Again, there's just no proof. There's nothing to back it up. That's my point. People know me very well in my hometown, in my home county. I ran for the first time in the local elections. I've never ran for politics before. I ran as an independent. I got 899 first preference votes. I would have been elected on the first count if it was first past the post. Then I decided to run for the general election. I got over 3,500 votes. People know me in Castlebar. They know what I'm all about. The 220,000 subscribers that look at our content know who I am and know what I'm all about. And there's no evidence to back up anything that you're saying. And that's the point.
Well, you're saying, was I looking at documentation? I did see your election leaflets at the time. There were 5 priorities. No, there was 4 priorities, and then a section of additional priorities. Where do you stand on the immigration issue? In your election documentation, you say you would like to see the introduction of more effective border controls and security checks, and to explore alternative solutions to the migration crisis. What do you mean by that? Exactly?
Well, look, without going back to the election here, we're here to talk about our Misher Era Festival. Yeah. We just agree with over 3/4 of the population of this country, where we see there is a problem with our uncontrolled mass immigration, open borders policy. That's obvious. We've always said it, and we've always said it's a numbers issue. We simply can't look after the amount of people that we have in the country at the moment. And I'm talking about, I know lots of people from Castlebar, a good friend of mine who owns an African shop in town there, a Romanian man runs a restaurant, an Italian man runs a restaurant. They've come to this country over the years and have done it the right way and have integrated, and they're not happy with what's going on either. So that's basically the gist with the immigration. There is obviously a problem. There's obviously a numbers problem there, but we're not here.
But you're not anti-immigrant per se, are you?
No, and we're always quoted as being that. We're anti-uncontrolled mass immigration. It's very different.
We're mischaracterised in this regard. Our views are no more extreme than the average person, and there's just a complete shutdown of any difference of opinion on immigration. There's no debate. The media generally do not platform the views of the majority of people in this country. What's currently happening, I defy anybody to tell me that this is good for Irish people or for immigrants. And as I expressed to you before on the phone when we made contact initially, myself and Stephen have actually stood up for migrants in some regards, because we do not agree with the institutionalised settings that these people are being put into under the guise of humanitarian duty, when in fact it's nothing more than the commodification of actual human beings for profit.
It's interesting you say that there is no debate. For our part, and I know we haven't been happy with some of the aspects in which we've tried to cover this story, for our part, we do try and cover issues fairly, and we try to be as balanced as possible. And we do try and encourage debate, but the amount of difficulty that comes our way in doing that is quite incredible. I just have to put that on the record. Very, very difficult, to the point where you would actually come to the conclusion it's not worth debating the issue at all, because we're getting it from all sides. But in any case, I just wanted to make that point. And there will be those who will hear this very interview this morning and will say, we have absolutely no business interviewing Stephen Kerr, Suzanne Delaney, or the group you represent. And we should be shut down, and we get all sorts, I've no doubt. How do you respond to that?
Again, no evidence for anything that these people say. I would say come forward with the evidence and show us how we are, whatever you accuse of being fascist or this or that or the other. There's nothing there. We're talking about the genuine concerns that people, everyday, decent, ordinary Irish people have. Simple as that.
And, you know, just to say as well, some of the ringleaders that have been involved, we're not going to name any names. We're not going to, you know, go down that road. But some of the ringleaders that have been involved in this, I mean, these people are ruthless. They're relentless and they're vicious, and it's a cancel, you know, a culture witch hunt. And more than that, I mean, they say that we're not safe to have in the community. Myself and Stephen are very nice people. We have no criminal record, anything like that.
Niall, we spent a lot of time. We've been on here for 16 and a half minutes, and I would really like to talk about our upcoming Misher Festival.
I was coming to that to conclude. Is the festival going ahead now or not, after all your difficulties?
Misher Music and Cultural Festival is taking place on Saturday, the 23rd of August, from 2 p.m. till 11 p.m. at a location not far at all from Castlebar in County Mayo. And
it is bigger than it was before.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a Streisand effect going on here. It's now being catapulted into the mainstream, and it's been the source of much debate over the last few days, and people do not like hypocrisy. And, you know, the same people who signed this list against this very small festival, which would have brought a lot of revenue to the town as well, they're punching down on this small festival, but they signed a petition in favour of Kneecap's right to free speech.
But you're going to face the same objections when the venue is eventually publicised, aren't you?
It'll be too late then.
It'll be too late. It's happening. It's going ahead. It's going to be bigger. We're probably going to have double the numbers that we were in Drumshanbo.
But how can you have double the numbers if people don't know where it is? People
will know where it is. Don't worry. Everything will be there. Everything will be documented. We have a film crew there in the day. We have a film crew that will be taking part in the day, and they're going to document everything, and the whole world is going to see what happened at Misher Festival. We've sold nearly 250, 300 tickets just in the last 2 days alone. We're not here to promote the festival because unfortunately we don't have the capacity. We're going to sell out, if not today, probably tomorrow. We will have some tickets available on the day for people who just want to arrive, but we're going to pull the online sales tomorrow. We're going to cap it at 750, and we might take a few more on the day.
And it's a family-friendly event. We have people who are bringing their elderly parents who are in their 80s, and we have people who are bringing children as young as 1 year of age. So it's an event for everybody. Anybody who loves Ireland and wants to celebrate Irish culture and history, music, all of that, everybody is welcome. Nobody is excluded from this event.
Okay, all right. Stephen Kerr, Suzanne Delaney, thank you for joining us on the programme.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Niall.